Thank you for being here. Our top story this noon, the trial of the three men accused in the killing of Ahmaud Arbery. That trial begins today. Keitha Nelson is anchoring our coverage live from Brunswick, where court is now in recess until 1 o'clock. What's the latest, Keitha?
Right now, I'm outside of the Glenn County Courthouse. You might be able to hear behind me demonstrators right now. They are chanting, wanting justice, of course. That is something that you're going to hear all across the board, all throughout this trial. We've been hearing it for several weeks leading up to this as we've been coming back and forth down to Brunswick. Now, just at about 9 o'clock, that's when things started to ramp up this morning. That's when the jurors, potential jurors, were asked to report just about 2 miles from here at the Sheldon Park Gymnasium. We're told about 200 or so were asked to report there. The numbers are still coming in. Now, what you just mentioned, 1 o'clock is the recess. They're going to come back into trial. The plan is to have about 20 or so potential jurors come back into the courthouse for questioning. That's what was underway earlier today. The judge was hearing motions. We also caught Marcus Arbery walking into the courthouse earlier this morning. We have some video of that. Marcus Arbery, of course, is Ahmaud Arbery's father. So we saw him walking in. But you know, it took a lot to get to this point. Let's take a look back quickly. In the more than a year and a half since Ahmaud Arbery was killed, protesters nationwide have chanted his name. Top-ranking officials in Glenn County have been indicted, and 3 men now face charges on the state and federal level, accused of chasing and gunning down the 25-year-old at a South Georgia subdivision. Now, those suspects are Gregory and Travis McMichael, along with William Bryan. All 3 are charged with first-degree murder. So to catch us up on these many details, we're going to check in now with Renata DiGregorio, who joins us live with more, also here in Brunswick. Renata.
Good afternoon, Keitha. As you said, they just broke for recess inside, but what was happening before that is they were going over questions to ask the jurors and how to phrase them. For example, one question had to do with a flag. They asking if the person thinks the Confederate flag is a racist symbol. Another asked if they think anyone who opposes Black Lives Matter is a racist. Now that's what's happening inside. Outside, all of these people have been here. These are all the supporters. They came from across the country to show their support for Ahmaud Arbery's family. From Milwaukee to California, many of them say they'll be here until the trial ends. It's the same story for people from multiple religious organizations who started the day by singing and praying out here together. Now, jury selection could last weeks. Jury duty notices went out to 1,000 people. So that's about 1 out of every 85 residents in Glenn County. It will be hard to find people who don't feel some way about this case, and those who may feel the most strongly, of course, are Arbery's family. We caught up with his aunt on her way into the courtroom.
We feel a little nervous because we never had to go in this courtroom for anything besides getting tags and titles and stuff like that. This is our first experience. We want peace. We don't want a rowdy situation. We're just looking for the right thing to happen.
A common thread here is everyone that we've talked to this morning and this afternoon hopes that race relations improve not just in Brunswick, but in the entire country. And coming up in the next half hour, we're going to hear from one of the supporters who we talked to right out here about why they felt it was so important to be here in Brunswick today. Live in Georgia, Renata DiGregorio, First Coast News, on your side.
You saw there Renata DiGregorio in the thick of things amongst the demonstrators. Now, before all of those people gathered there at the courthouse earlier this morning, right before 9 o'clock, we noticed a group of clergymen standing on the courthouse steps. They were saying a prayer and singing. They say that they want to set the tone for this trial. They want things to be peaceful throughout, and they plan to be out here throughout the duration of this trial. Take a listen.
Coming together, they just sort of set a tone of peace. We want to set that tone that it carries out throughout the week, that everything that happens here is peaceful as we seek justice.
Many of us are hopeful. The process has been going in a direction that I think the community has wanted and been asking for. I think there was responsiveness when the community began to gather last year, and I think that hope is still carrying into this week. And now part of what we're about is just being peacemakers and keeping a sense of unity as we navigate what comes in the next few weeks.
Now, that group is comprised of about 50 different clergymen all throughout Glenn County. Again, you heard their main message, that is peace. They tell me they will be here throughout the duration of this trial, and they're going to be standing around asking if anyone is in need of prayer. Now, just talking with people in Brunswick, their main concern right now is outsiders. They don't want people to come in here and disrupt the peace that they've been seeing, the peaceful demonstrations. Folks, we will be here giving you gavel-to-gavel coverage throughout the duration of this trial, both on air and online. You can always download that First Coast News app for instant updates, and don't forget to check out our social media sites. Again, we will be here throughout the duration giving you up-to-date coverage. In Glenn County, I'm Keitha Nelson, First Coast News on your side.
Keitha,